This video is about fans gaining wrong video script, gaining cringe consciousness. Imagine spending well over $1,000 just for the chance to beg for an idol's attention at send-off, or even spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars on multiple albums. Well, let's not kid ourselves here. Hundreds of albums to have a chance at winning a fan call with an idol just to speak to them for like 30 seconds. Well, some of you don't need to imagine that. That is definitely a reality for a lot of people. Now listen, I am not here to yuck anyone's yum. You know, kudos to the people who spend all their money, sometimes damn near embarrassing themselves, and not in a, oh my God, I'm already like picturing the backlash. I'm not judging anybody. This is really not a space for judgment because I love watching fan call videos. I love watching send off videos. I genuinely do. Maybe it's a hot take, maybe not really a hot take because, I mean, it's popular. It's literally, people spend so much money doing these things, so it can't be unpopular, right? Though there's definitely a subsect of fans who are like, we need to abolish these things. Because wouldn't you know, fans are weird. But isn't that also kind of a form of parasocialism? What does socialism have to do with this? Today we're going to be diving into why fans have suddenly gotten the ick from send-off and fan call culture. So welcome to another episode of Kpop Cancelled. My name is Angelina and I'm here with my precious, crusty, yeasty beige angels. So say hello to Kevin and Maisha. Puppies. Puppies. Oh. We got one. Oh my God, he's just the cutest thing in the world. He melts my heart, but enough about them. Let's start talking about cringy K-pop fan culture and how fans are giving themselves the ick. First off, thank you guys so much for support on episode 1. I am so happy that you guys are excited that the podcast is back. I'm honestly so nervous because like I mentioned in the first episode, I don't know how to keep a train of thought. I don't know how to keep this flowing. Like, I feel like I need to stop and gather myself and like I don't know how to do it. And I don't know how to make a full juicy episode for you guys. Like the last episode was 37 minutes or 36 minutes. And I was like, I'm really thinking I could make it an hour. We're going to see. We're going to see. If this episode ends up being shorter, just know we'll get there eventually. I want to give you nice, long, juicy content. But we'll get there. I wanted to start off by talking about my relationship with stan culture because I think I have a very complicated and unique relationship with it. And I do need to start off by saying, again, I am not judging anyone. I totally understand the need for parasocialism. I understand what art brings to people. And 10,000%, sometimes it's cringy as hell. Sometimes you see the way fans act and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. But then sometimes you're actually 10 times worse. So shut it. So I'm definitely not judging anybody. Like I enjoy art in my own way and people enjoy art in their own way. And whether people think it's cringy or not, I mean, to be determined. What am I saying? I'm so stressed about keeping a train of thought that I'm just saying random things. Listen, to be cringe is to be free. So I'm not here to judge. I've done cringy things in my life, but I do have, I think, a unique and complicated relationship with idolizing people because in my mind, it's like any type of idolization is just wrong and you shouldn't be doing it. And you shouldn't be doing it. Like these people are just people. Like why does somebody deserve to be prioritized more than another person? Shouldn't we be loving our friends to this extent? Like don't the people in your life deserve this type of treatment rather than strangers who don't know you exist? Like I go to the extremes all the time. I have a hard time seeing things in between, you know, the extremes. I have such a hard time with that. So for me, it's really between idolizing someone to a full extent and really rejecting the idea of idolizing anyone because it's just wrong. And how could you? So we're starting off strong with that. But I do think this does all stem from my mother. So when I was younger, my mom would always tell me, anytime I would tell her about a celebrity, she would always tell me, so they're just humans. Like, why do you care so much? They're just humans. So that definitely, I feel, shaped me as a person today. Though, again, I feel like I take things to an extreme. But truthfully, I don't feel like I ever had an innate desire to really put someone on a pedestal. I mean, oh my gosh, in my personal life, absolutely. But that's that's a topic for another day. I do struggle with that on a personal level, but like in terms of celebrities, I have dabbled into buying albums. We'll get into that later. But right now, I'm really, on the other end of the extreme where I'm like, no, don't buy anything. Like, why would you do that? It's so stupid. And I do find myself judging others. I'm trying not to, because I find a lot of fans on my TikTok now. Like, I'm suddenly all over K-pop TikTok and I see a lot of fans. And at first, I'm like judging them. I'm like, you're weird and you're parasocial, and like, why do you like these people so much, despite the fact that I literally will watch should I admit this? I'll literally watch like the same variety show over and over and over and over again, and I'm like, but you're weird for openly showing your support to these people. It doesn't make a lot of sense, I'll admit, but I digress. Back to my mom. She would often tell me, these are just regular people, and why do you care so much? And I was talking about it with her the other day, and she's like, again, she reiterated, these are regular people. They just happen to make it big. And of course, a lot of it is about luck. But, the point being, why does one person deserve more than well, we're going on the wrong script again, but moving on. But first, let's get into what send-off actually is. So basically companies, and I don't know who started this. I don't know which companies specifically, though I feel like ATs are maybe my For You page is absolutely biased, but I feel like there's so many AT send-offs. But they started adding this option or into VIP, I think, where you could meet the group after the concert and send them off. So you line up in front of these fences, right? It's quite controlled, and the idols will walk by, sign stuff, you can speak to them, but sometimes it's so overcrowded that there's rows and rows of people. So mind you, you're paying for a chance at something. And that's the criticism that a lot of people are bringing up. You're paying for the chance to maybe beg for an interaction with your idol, because it's not like everybody's perfectly lined up. You could be 3 rows behind somebody. How are you going to get an interaction? It's very difficult. Of course, the people at their front want their moment. They're not going to, switch with you. And sometimes after their turn, they'll like go behind and take photo cards from people and try to get the member to sign it. But that sometimes is too late at that point. But people are really criticizing this now because it's kind of fishy, a little fishy like. I came across this Reddit post. I thought we could read it, but it basically is titled, I was a bit disappointed by AT's send-off. So let's read what they have to say. I had the chance to see ATs for the second time in Chicago this year, and this time I got an AT&E VIP ticket, which includes send-off. Unfortunately, I ended up in the second row during send-off, so I didn't get to see the members way up close. I was extremely lucky enough to get my Towards the Light jersey signed by all the members, but that was mainly because I was handing it to the manager and not the member himself. I tried to get my Anna T signed too, but went immediately after Uyong, and he was insanely fast, so my Chidongi didn't get signed, and my mom also didn't get her Woo Young-yan signed. Also, none of the members really talked to the fans. It kind of seemed like they just wanted to be done with it. Yeosang, Mingi, and Hongjung were the only ones interacting with people, and Yeosang was the only one who looked at me. I mean, I was second row, but still. Plus, it only took 12 minutes for all the members to come through. I'm very happy with what I have signed, but I'm just disappointed that I didn't get to interact with the members. That's why you get sent off in the first place, right? Maybe I'm just salty, but I'm just wondering if anyone feels the same or disagrees. So, like we were mentioning, you could be a couple rows behind people. So, you have a certain expectation that you will have an interaction, and then you don't get the interaction, you get disappointed, so on and so forth. So, and again, I think more and more people are realizing how maybe weird this is, or weird it can be. Of course, there's a lot of fun moments. I mean, there's a viral Hongjung moment where someone's like, I'm taller than him, and he turns around and he's like, how's the show? And he actually sampled that girl's voice in one of his songs. But it becomes this kind of competition, right? Who gets there first? How do you get the members' attentions? Because they do stop sometimes, and they do talk to people, and they do tell people that they're pretty, and so on and so forth. So how do you stand out? Do you bring something super weird for them to sign so that they remember you? Do you do this? Do you do that? Do you say something weird? It becomes kind of this competition, right? Because there's only so much you can say to an idol that they haven't heard before. you're inspiring to me. You did this for me. I love you. You're amazing. I mean, there's only so much you can say. They've heard it all before. And some people take that as a challenge. A challenge to not only get noticed by the idol themselves, but also there's the potential that these clips go viral. And I'm not blaming Hongjung for like sampling someone's voice. I mean, people were trying to get views before that. I mean, you post a video, it can go viral. And now, I mean, maybe there's even a chance that you get featured as a sample on somebody's song. But it just goes to show that people want not only an interaction with the idol, but there's also that added potential that the clip can go viral. I even saw someone on Twitter say that they were swear baiting idols because, of course, a fan would swear and then the idol would react to that because it's like, you know, how scandalous, how K-pop shocking. So I thought that was such a funny term, swear baiting idols. But of course, it's such a your name moment. Like you tell them they're good looking and maybe they say you too. Oh my gosh. Maybe they lightly graze your hand. I don't know. People have also brought up like language barriers. Sometimes people try to tell jokes that don't really land or just try to say things that are like quite niche. I don't know how else to explain it, but people have brought that up too. I mean, there's so much criticism towards sendoff to the point that people want to abolish it. And I mean, people want to abolish it. I don't think companies feel the same way, but we will get into that. So this whole video, I know we're like way into the video at this point, but this whole video is inspired by a tweet that I can no longer find. But basically the person is talking about how sendoff gave them the ick. Like imagine spending so much money just to beg for a man's attention. And a lot of people were suddenly realizing through that tweet how weird this can be. And I mean, standing as a whole, if you just isolate it like that, it's weird. It is. It has to be. I mean, someone was born and you think they're cool. So you sometimes, not all fans, you put them above everyone else for going all your morals sometimes. I mean, that's definitely a little weird. Here's another post I found on Reddit. Sendoff is not it. Fans are doing too much. I'm not sure how most people feel, but sendoff, especially with really popular groups, looks kind of awful for idols and fans alike. Screaming through multiple rows of people who are also trying to get one tired person's attention quickly, sometimes in a language they only somewhat understand, is really overwhelming. It's basically an interaction frenzy and fan behavior is uncomfortable and draining. I'm aware that it's a choice to buy it and it depends on your finances, but it feels very here, damn, of these companies and tour promoters to charge fans so much for this, and some of the other okayish perks when the highest tier of VIP isn't actually guaranteed any interaction or a signature because of how sendoff can be structured. It's natural for fans to want to curate their own positive experience with their favorite artists, but I truly do think the price and the chaos are adding unnecessary fuel to the desperation to be memorable. I've been watching clips of sendoff from the current ATEEZ tour, and some of the interactions just feel a little odd, for lack of a better word. While I personally find it a little awkward when people try to recreate viral moments that have already been done to death at other stops or try too hard to set them up to say specific memeable things, it's harmless in comparison to people who are outright disrespectful to the members' faces for their own moment. Is it not weird that people have admitted to putting themselves in debt to be there only to yell something incredibly embarrassing and unfunny for attention, then get met with an understandable side-eye or ignored? Weird and entitled people will be weird anywhere, but I suspect that if this were high touch or fan sign, where the experience is more equal and there are more restrictions on how to engage with idols, there would be less anxiety around getting these interactions. I'm honestly disappointed that sendoff is becoming the norm, but I'm sure nobody will stop buying it regardless of what it costs. I agree. I don't think it's going anywhere. Like I said before, if you isolate standing someone, it's weird. It's absolutely weird. And I do acknowledge that being a fan of someone can bring you joy. It can save you. Like, I fully acknowledge that, but there's absolutely no doubt that some fans take it too far. But is that just the price that famous people have to pay? And this is a conversation, okay? I'm not saying this. I heard this somewhere and I've been thinking about it ever since, honestly. It's something that I ponder quite a bit. If you are able to live a life of riches and fame, I feel like I said that wrong. If you're able to live a life above everybody else, a life not afforded to the majority of people, is that just the price you have to pay? And don't think I'm saying that being famous equals deserving having weirdos in your life. Hell, I'm not even famous and I have a weirdo trying to ruin my life in the form of being an evil landlord, but this isn't about me today. But you know, some people would argue if you had to deal with the same things that famous people had to deal with, but had money, it would be easier to deal with, because there are everyday people who deal with certain things and lack the money. And I'm sure they would switch place. This conversation is getting weird. But like, if you think about it, this more so applies to like rich people. I'm not saying like an idol who barely gets paid and is being exploited by their company. I'm not like talking about them, okay? But, you know, I would almost wish this treatment on billionaires. You know, if people are allowed to live above their means while exploiting others, I would wish a weird fan from a new idol who barely gets paid onto a billionaire. And we're moving on from this subject very quickly. We can, of course, try to be critical of stan culture, and I think that's great. I think more and more people are accepting that, are critical of it. I think that directly stems from class inequality. There are so many things happening right now. People are struggling and they're realizing more and more the structure is causing this, and it just puts a lot of things into perspective. And I think one of those things is stan culture. Why do certain people get to live above their means? Why do people get away with exploitation, so on and so forth? But let's bring it back to fans wanting to abolish fan calls and sendoffs because of the weird fans. Now, listen, I hate to break it to you, but fans will always be weird. And actually, here's some reverse parasocialism for you. Don't you think that in demanding that sendoffs be abolished, you're actually being the level of parasocial that you're trying to avoid idols having to deal with? No, seriously. If you sit there and say, I don't want idols to go through having to interact with their fans because some fans are weird, don't you think that's parasocial in and of itself? I think people have good intentions. I mean, they want the best for these people they don't know. And sometimes they take it to a level of, well, I'm a better fan because I would never be weird at a fan sign or at a send-off, but then also be naive enough to think that these idols don't want to make money, that they know better than these companies that hire expensive marketing firms that are made exclusively to figure out how to better line their pockets. Companies want to attract the type of fan who would spend an arm and a leg just to meet their idol, who would follow them around the world. That's why it makes me laugh when some people are like, we should limit who wins fan calls. Why would a company do that? Why would a company do that? Like, you want it to be equal, but that's not even how the real world works. Not that this isn't the real world, but this is directly reflective of how the outside world, outside of K-pop, works too. Like, you want communism and fan calls, but that's not going to happen. Why would a man be there? Sorry. Why would a company willingly limit their revenue? Do you see where I'm going with this? Like, you guys are so close to the answer, but like so far too. This is reflective of the real world. The real world, I'm sorry for saying the real world, but you get what I mean. This is reflective of everyday life. It is not fair. People with more money have more opportunities. It's naive to think otherwise. It's naive to think that a company cares about you. It's naive to think that a company would willingly sacrifice making money just so you could have a chance at something you want in this world. That's why you're not going to see things being equitable. They absolutely could. There is nothing stopping any company from being more fair, from not raising their prices, from not doing shady things. There's nothing stopping them from it. They just can, so they will. Think about it. These companies charge so much. And there's also the added factor that if the idol isn't profitable to the company will just kick them to the curb. Though I will say it is also just a little bit naive to think that idols also don't want to make money. Again, we don't know these people. We don't know if they're greedy. We don't know if they're this. We don't know if they're that. We want to assume the best in them. And of course, there are some idols who are like, hey, print your own photo cards, like the 8 from 17, or I think Son of AT's also said, like, we can't be the most important thing in your life, which directly goes against what their companies want to achieve. I mean, look at the amount of photo cards. And I'm not saying we can't criticize companies, like, absolutely, but if we just criticize companies while still giving them all our time, attention, and money, then you're really just like speaking into the void. It's not going to do anything. I remember I've recently were a topic of conversation because there was this TikTok that went viral where this guy's like, oh, here's my $110 for 6 seconds. And he was just walking quickly by IVE and they were all like waving at him. And I've seen this structure of, meet and greet quite a bit. I even saw this article that was like a boy group receives backlash for meet and greet where there is no meeting and no greeting. I thought that was a funny title. But yes, on one hand, we can absolutely blame companies for being greedy. But where do we start blaming fans or blaming ourselves for engaging in these things that we are under no obligation to engage in, and like actually try to fight for something different? I mean, I don't picture it really happening. We don't even do that for grocery prices. So like how are we going to do that for freaking K-pop? But I kind of compare this to overconsumerism. There's been a huge surge in people acknowledging overconsumerism. I think it used to be called minimalism, but now it's rebranded into under consumption, and now people are more mindful of it. Like you'll see people on TikTok being like, oh, I bought like 20 of the same thing, and people are like, whoa, do you really need that? And I feel like 5-10 years ago nobody would care. Like 5-10 years ago people would boast about how much money they had, about all the beautiful things they could buy with it, and people would eat it up. But now people are judging it, rightfully so. I think it's great. I think it's great that we can be critical of things that are unnecessary. It is unnecessary. Well, crap. It's definitely it's difficult because sometimes these things can bring you a lot of joy, and sometimes you're not just like a rich snob. You work and you just happen to have a collection of something. I get it. And I was there too. I was buying album after album, collecting photo card after photo card. I was obsessed. I would literally just like open my photo card book every like 5 seconds and look at all my photo cards and be like, oh, I need that one. How are we gonna get this one? Okay, let's spend $36 on that one. I cringe thinking back at that because now I have no interest in K-pop albums. I have no interest in photo cards, and I'm stuck with all of it. How am I going to sell that? Like, that's a lot of work to sell that amount of stuff. And I don't even think I have a comparable collection to the majority of people that you see online, and I'm already overwhelmed at everything. So I do think it's useful. I do think it's welcomed to at least be critical of the things that we're doing, and it's okay. It's totally fine. And I'm coming from a position where I'm not judging you because I've done those things, and maybe in 5-10 years I'll be like, hell, I want a collection again. I don't know. I am a fickle person. I have a couple of memories that I'd like to share. I don't want to bore you guys too much, but like my first like fan experience that I could remember has to do with hockey. Okay, now calm down. Listen, I remember my friends were like damn near bullying me into supporting a certain hockey group. And I was like, okay, like I want to be part of something. So I go home, watch the freaking Stanley Cup, and those bastards lost the damn game. So imagine my disappointment. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be a part of something. I'm going to like stand something. And they just lost. And I too lost interest. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't get it. I'm like, first of all, a disappointment. Second of all, didn't even like hockey. So, what can you do? But never again. Mind you, I did count points at rural hockey games, but I only did that for community service to be able to freaking graduate. I did not enjoy it. Second fan experience, also surprisingly with hockey, like my friend's mom had these hockey tickets for like a booth thing. Like it was a whole room with food. And I remember her mom telling us, because she brought like a couple of our friends, she was telling us like, make sure you show the people who gave us these tickets that you guys are having fun and are like grateful. And I took that to like very literally. I was like, oh my God, like I really need to show up here. Like I need to show them how grateful I am for all this free food. And like, this must be so expensive. So I remember just like, we were all just like screaming, and I don't even remember what hockey team it was. I didn't even support the team, but I felt like this immense pressure to show emotion, be enthusiastic, be animated, so on and so forth. And I feel like that I really carried that into how I showed up as a fan of other things later on in life, which brings us to K-pop concerts. So enough with the hockey. I'm sure you guys are bored of that. Actually, I have another fan experience to talk about first. I actually went and saw Silverstein in concert when I was really, really young. Really, really young. I don't know how old I was, but I digress. I only knew like a couple of songs, but we got to meet the band afterwards, and it was a weird experience because like I didn't really know them. Like if they were walking down the street or if you showed me a picture of them, I wouldn't be able to tell you, oh, that's Silverstein or that's the singer from Silverstein. I had no idea, but we still got to meet them. And there was just like this idea in my mind, famous people equals taking pictures and acting a damn fool, which I guess is actually kind of quite accurate. But we met them, and my cousin and I, we used to make videos for school and everything. And we told them that we used their song My Heroine in a video that we made about use. Yeah, I don't think that's what their song is about, but I digress. We were young and stupid, and I mean, adults act like that, so I'm not even feeling bad about it, but I digress. So fast forward to going to K-pop concerts. I've talked about this feeling so many times. When you're at a K-pop concert, there is so much pressure, in my opinion, to act, and I feel like I'm performing at a K-pop concert. Like, I would love if K-pop, well, you know, that's the thing. People love to scream and sing along, and that's perfectly fine. I'm not trashing that. But I prefer maybe, you know, concerts in Korea where it's more chill and, you know, you don't need to scream. There's not like that pressure to be enthusiastic, animated, so on and so forth. So when I would go to K-pop concerts, I honestly felt so paranoid. Like, if I don't look like I'm having a good time, what if someone just turns around and starts filming me and is like, oh my God, this girl doesn't want to be here. You see, I mean, what is it called? A surveillance culture? What is it called? I don't know what it's called, but like, everybody is always watching you. And I have become a very paranoid person. I don't really like to go out, and I am always worried that I might get caught on camera, and I hate it. I hate it so much. Maybe this is quite personal. I won't even go on like Tinder or any of those things, because you see these TikToks where people are like, oh my God, look at this person's profile. Oh my God, what happened to privacy? I hate it here. Anyways. Not that I'm looking for love. I just, you know, as an example of things that I don't do because of surveillance culture or whatever it's called. So I'm like so paranoid at concerts that someone's just gonna like turn around and film me and be like, what is going, or, you know, it happens all the time. If I'm at a grocery store, I'm worried about this. If I'm anywhere, I'm worried about this. So I feel very pressured to act like everybody around me at concerts. And actually, my first K-pop concert was 17. And I remember a friend asking me if I wanted to go. And I was like, oh yeah, like, it's going to just be so casual. And why not? I'm going to go and support my friend. And then I find out the tickets that were already purchased were $350. So, you know, that was definitely, a lot to handle. You know, what I thought would be just like a fun little casual concert ended up being a huge investment. And I'm not gonna lie, nothing against 17. I just didn't know them all that well. Of course, I knew some of their songs and I loved some of their songs, but I did not know their discography. And after spending that much on a ticket, I started studying. I started studying fan chants too. And mind you, nobody was doing the damn fan chants. It was so disappointing, but I digress. I'm never going to financially recover from this. But it was such an overwhelming experience. It was hot, it was crowded. And I'm not trying to like complain about seeing a group, because I know a lot of people would love to go see groups. That's not what I'm trying to do. But all this just to explain that there is a moment in concerts, at least for me, when the group comes on stage and you really do have this realization. It's not that you didn't know they were just human beings before, but it really is solidified. When they're 600 feet away from you dancing perfectly in sync, you're like, wow, they're literally tiny because they look like ants on stage because you're so far. In my case, like, yeah, they really are just human beings. And there was actually like a couple of girls to my left or whatever who were deadpan. Like, they did not look like they were enjoying it, but I wasn't going to judge them because I wanted to enjoy it like that too. Like, I really felt pressured, like I said, but I heard some people talking about them and I felt really bad because I'm like, people enjoy the concerts the way they want to enjoy them. But see, I had reason to be paranoid because if you don't act the way people expect you to act, they're going to judge you. So I had reason to be nervous. That also just sounds like the worst advice to give ever. Like, be paranoid of people. Act the way people want you to act or else they're going to judge you. I feel so bad. That's not in any way advice to you, by the way. That's just like a personal reflection. But needless to say, I went to 2 more concerts after that, and like the post-concert blues were just a lot. And again, just my paranoia mixed with everything we've talked about. I don't think I'll be going to any more concerts moving forward. And on top of my complicated relationship with stan culture now, where I'm like so I want to avoid it at all costs while still participating in it. It doesn't make any sense. I acknowledge that. But anyways, like, I do enjoy watching idol content. I understand the joys of standing idols. I enjoy the little worlds that you get to live in that moment, but I don't like it in practice. I've said quite a few times in videos that I never want to meet my idols. Like, you will never catch me in a fan call. You will never catch me at a fan side. You will never catch me like trying to talk to an idol. I made this TikTok once where we were like, oh, we went to the aquarium. We didn't see ATs. This is when we were going to see ATs in Toronto. We went here. We didn't see ATs. In the hotel room, we didn't see ATs. Like, that's more of a joke. I really do feel like if I saw ATs, I would run away. Or if I saw any celebrity, like, I wouldn't want to approach them. I do not want to meet idols, to be really honest with you. Though, let's see if I was going to do the wolf and prey joke. I messed it up. It's okay. So, funnily enough, I do think I may have seen Sound of ATs in Hamilton. We were walking by a building, a hotel room, not a hotel room, walking by a hotel, and I see this guy that looks like Sound of ATs, and it is like a hotel lobby, and there's just like a window or whatever, and there's like 30 suitcases, which led me to believe maybe this is a touring K-pop artist. You never know, or a freaking hockey team. You never know. So I see what looks like to be Sound of ATs, but I don't know. Like, we walk by, I'm like, wait, was that Sound? I kind of like walk back a little bit, and then like I felt so embarrassed for walking back, and we just walked away. I'm like, okay, that was enough. We don't even need to confirm if it's him or not. Like, I felt so awkward walking back. But I will say, in the past, I have tried to get idols' attention online, like tagging. I remember, like, I tagged Jessie in an Instagram post, and it was like a post of like my review of her song or something, and it was so cringy, but she liked it. I mean, I remember tagging Rise in like Shotaro parrot edits. Like, it's not it's complicated, okay? It's complicated because I'm like sometimes wanting an interaction, but then I'm like, oh, like, looking back, why would you do that? Like, I don't want to be noticed anymore. But the same thing applies for sendoff. You're not going to find me at sendoff. Number one, the whole begging idols for attention thing, I am not confrontational. So even if I wanted an interaction, like I craved an interaction, I can't picture myself like bulldozing through people to try to get to the front, or even asking someone to take my photo card and have them get a member to sign it. Do you know what I mean? I can't picture myself doing it, but I can't even knock it. Like, I can't even judge people because I love watching send-off videos. I think they're so fun sometimes. I think they can be quite cute. I need to make that very clear because this video is about fans gaining class conscious. Well, wrong video script. Gaining cringe consciousness. Oh my god, I'm actually such a liar. I literally had just said that like I've never had such an innate desire to really idolize people. That is a load of crap. Because I just remembered how obsessed I was with Taemin of SHINee. How do you just forget about your 2010 obsession with Taemin? I don't know. So yeah, of course, let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you think of send-offs, what you think of fan calls. If you've had a shift in how you consume K-pop over the years, let me know. I'm sorry if it's a shorter video. I did my bestest. I sat there last night writing notes and notes and notes. I'm like, this feels like at least 86 pages of notes. And then you talk about it and it's not that much. It's not that much. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys being here and supporting the podcast. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. You can also go follow me on all my accounts. I'll try to link them below. But as for me, I'm going to get going. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye. Well, because we were talking in the car the other day. Mm-hmm. And Kevin's excited that you're here. When I was younger, you used to if I would be like, oh, did you hear about this celebrity doing that? And you'd be like, they're just people.
Yeah, they are just people.
Okay, thanks.
We should be worshiping our animals and the people around us instead of worshiping the people that we can't see. or talk to or get near unless we pay $600, $700 a ticket.
Wow. That's some good,
Right?
that's some really good advice, actually.
You're fucking right. Okay, bye.
That's all you have to say?
For now, until it comes to my head, but we should be worshiping the people around us instead of these other people that charge way too much for tickets.
Yeah.
And then we sit too far in the auditorium or wherever you want to call it. Can't see them. But yeah, we're so excited. Not.